Hello and welcome to Auntie Carol's Reading Room. Today I'm going to talk to you about online teaching. The need for online teaching has increased over the past 3 years. I started teaching online 10 years ago, and within the last 2 years I found that I had to just add so much to my repertoire of skills for online teaching. I'm not going to waste much time. What I do want to say is that besides lesson planning and besides research, the online planning, the planning of your lesson online is the next important thing. So let us have a look at what we will be doing with planning an online lesson. I'm going to change screens, and here we are. So we're going to start, let's say we're going to start with a blank slate in PowerPoint. And the first thing you're going to do, once you've opened your PowerPoint, is to click on New, because you want to create a new slide. And I would suggest you select a blank presentation. It opens like this. You can see the screen is very wide and it has this text here. You don't want this text. Quick and easy way to get rid of it is go up to your task menu and look at Layout. Click on Layout and click on Blank. You want a blank slide. There you are. Your slide is clear. The next thing you need to do is to determine whether you want to work on this big slide screen, a big screen, or do you want a smaller screen? And it is going to depend on how your students are going to view the lesson. They will see the lesson on this screen, but sometimes I prefer using a smaller screen because I may want to convert my lesson into another format. So to get a smaller screen, I go up on my brown key bar and I'm working in PowerPoint. I click on Design. And towards the very right hand side of the screen, I click on Slide Size. A drop down appears and I click on Custom Slide Size. In Custom Slide Size, I now choose my design. My preferred design size is 1400 inches by 1000 inches. Now your computer may have different configurations, but I can tell you this. If you just type in 14 inches, it will convert it to the size you want. I then click on OK and I click on Ensure Fit. There's my new slide size. This is the size I am going to work on. The next thing I do once I have this is I decide whether this is going to be for a grade 1, 2, or 3 class, or primary school up to grade 7, or is it going to be for a high school or even university or college students. And depending on whether it's for high school or university, I am going to select my background accordingly. For today, we are going to work on grade 1, 2, 3, and 4 because there are too many chops and changes that we may have to do. We're going to work on a slide presentation for grade 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, I don't want a boring white screen. So I have all my pictures and background paper and all sorts of tools that I use. I have them in my Google Drive. And I go to my Google Drive and I click on my photos, and there I have my photos up, but I don't want any of these pictures. I want background paper, and I've called it burlap. I love my burlap paper. So I open my burlap file of papers, and there it is. And I'm going to choose this beautiful blue. So I'm going to click on copy image. Go back to my PowerPoint where I'm working. And I'm going to just paste it there. Doesn't fit. I put my cursor. You can see my cursor's got the yellow both sides. I drag it to the side to fill just exactly onto the end of the paper. Not bigger, not smaller. There I have my paper. Still not done. I'm still not happy. I want a nice border. I go back to my Google Drive. I go out of here and I type in my search there, borders. And up it opens a ton of borders for me. For this particular slide, I want a very plain and simple border. I don't want something with too many trimmings and that's going to take up too much space. That is something that you need to consider very carefully. Your border must not take up too much space, because then you find when you are busy writing and populating your file, you don't have room because your border takes up so much space. I'm going to go down to where I have my minimalistic borders. And I'm going to use Kelly B. Is so beautiful, but I'm not going to use Kelly B today. I'm going to use one of these very simple borders. I'm going to use this one. Another thing I want to show you here is that you see these borders all have a grayish background. That means they are transparent. When the border has white inside, for instance, here I have a border with white. If I choose this border, it's gonna blot out my beautiful blue background. Let me show you. So I'm gonna take this border, copy, and I'm gonna put it on my screen. And there you are. If I have to use this border, I am going to be stuck with a white screen and not the blue screen that I want. I would turn this around so that I can stretch it out, but it remains a white background. And I specifically chose a blue background. If you want this, then it's fine. It's perfect. There's nothing wrong with this. You have your blue on the outside, you have your white on the inside. However, if I want to use the blue background, I'm going to change my slide. Now look at what I'm going to do. I've opened a second slide. I'm not going to go back to a Google Drive to get the blue background. I'm going to steal it from here. And this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to make sure that the dots are on the extreme outside borders, and I click on it, right click, and I copy it, bring it to the new slide, and I paste it. And there my new blue slide is done. But I don't want this. So for this one, I will have to go back to my Google Drive and choose a border without those trimmings. Let me look for the same border so that you can see the difference. Here we are. This is the one. This one has got gray inside. When I open it on my Google screen, there's nothing because the border blends in with the black background. I know it's there. I copy the image, take it to my PowerPoint, and I paste it. And there you are. And I don't know why it does that. There you are. Now I have my blue background remaining. And now align it so that it's in this mode. It's a bit skiff. I can see it's skew. There you go. And I go to the corners and I stretch it to fit the page. That's not what I want to stretch. You've got to make sure you click on the outside dots. No, what am I doing today? You see that little dot? It must be on that dot, on nothing else. Otherwise, you are going to be moving the whole thing and you don't want to do that. And I want to take this down a little bit here as well. So this is what my slide is going to look like. I don't want this one. I'm going to delete this one and I'm going to work with this one. I want to show you how to work with a background. It's important that we give our children a bit of color. Now I'm going to make 5 slides like these, and I want all of my 5 slides to look exactly the same. So I go and I click on the slide in the sidebar, and I go to Control, and then with the other hand, I hit D, the letter D, 4 times, because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There I have 5 slides identical. So let's go over how we started here. We started by opening PowerPoint and then choosing a new slide, and we chose a blank from there. Once the slide was open, we went to Layout and we chose blank again to make sure that we have a complete blank canvas to work on. Then we changed the size of the slide. I said to you, you can work on the big screen, but I like this screen better. So I went and I changed it. I clicked on Design. From Design, I went to the extreme right of my screen on the toolbar, and I clicked on Slide Size. In Slide Size, I changed the configuration from 13, 13, 13, 13 to 1400 by 1000 inches. And this is the slide size I get. This is also the slide size you're going to use when you make boom cards. And this is one of my reasons why I keep my slides in this side. Should I decide to change it to a boom deck of cards, I have the correct size. Now, the first thing you need to do here is you have decided that we are going to work with grades 1, 2, 3, and 4. The next best thing to do is to select a font. I am going to select my font. I'm going to put in my text box. You go up to your text box key and you get your little thingy that says this is a text box. There is my text box. And this is going to be the topic. I want a nice font that looks like a kiddie's font. I'm going to therefore go down and I am going to choose one of my favorite fonts, which is going to be maple toffee or maple syrup. Let me look for my maples. Hello, no, not hello. I'm looking for the M, sorry. Here, Maple Keys. I'm going to use Maple Toffee. This is my 2 favorite fonts. I love this one. I use Maple Keys. It reverts back to that size. I want it to be big, and I'm going to make it a size 70. 115 is good. 115. I also want this text to be right in the center of the frame. I therefore go and I click on center, and you can see my cursor is now in the center of the page. I then type my font. my text that I want. And this is going to be grade 1. This is going to be my grade 1, and I want it to be right there in the middle of the page. Now, what I want still is I want to have some color around in the blue. I don't want it to be so boring for the kids. Now, I showed you where I got pictures from my Google Drive. The other place where I keep my files is on my OneDrive. I go to my OneDrive and I go to, in my OneDrive, I have a file called ClipArt. I go to my ClipArt one, and in my in my ClipArt file, I have something called Canva stickers. As you can see, I filed my things so that I can find them easily. I choose my Canva stickers. I open it. And there I have a lot of trimmings I can just click and paste. And what do I want today? I want some kiwi fruit and watermelon. This one you don't have to open it. I simply right click on it and I go to copy and back to my slide and I paste that kiwi fruit in there. It's a bit too big. I don't want it so big. I just want a nice little kiwi in the corner there. I go back because I want another picture. I want a lion because this lion eats fruit and vegetables. It's a vegan lion. I click on my lion picture there. Right click on it. I choose copy. I go back to my PowerPoint and I click paste. And there I have my line. After I have pasted it, I click outside. I'm going to show you in the next one when I do the next one. There I have my line. I want one more picture and I want you to follow the steps here. I go back to my OneDrive and I am going to take that cub, that tiger cub. I'm going to right click on it. My drop down menu opens. I go to copy. I left click on the copy and I take it back to my PowerPoint and I paste it. Now watch this. I paste it so it's in there, but it's right over this. If I should just drag this now, I'm going to drag the entire screen and I don't want. So what I do is I go completely outside with my cursor. You see my red ball is there. And I click outside of it, outside of the slide. Then I come back and I click on this tiger. Now I know this tiger is going to move alone. I want this line a little bit bigger. So I'm just going to make a big line so you can see his teeth. And there we have our 3 grade 1 things. It is important that we give our children some color, some visual imaging. Now, this slide is big enough for you to print it. If you print it on this particular size, you will get it. If you print it on the wide screen, you won't be able to get all of it in. So you can print this slide, laminate it, and stick it up in your classroom. We are going to do short vowel A, grade 1. Let's change that grade 1 to short vowel A. How do you change it? You go and you click on it, you get the frame around it, and then you put your cursor in the middle and you double click. And grade is highlighted. So I'm going to do short vowel, and I'm going to delete that 1 and put in short vowel A. I don't want it to be covered by tigers and lions. I want my students to see short vowel A. When I click outside, it's clear. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to put my first word on here that I want my students to see. And what I do is I copy the size here. I use the font, click on the font text box. I use Maple Toffee 115. I want to use this size throughout. I go to my text box. I create a text box there. And I go to Maple Toffee. That's the font I used. And I use 115. I go to the size and I type in that size. No, 138 is too big. I want 115 and I centered it. So this is where it's going to be. And my first word is leg. No, I'm doing the A, sorry. Doing the short vowel A. Lag. To lag behind. Now, when I look at the size of the slide and I look at this word that I've written, I can see that I can actually make a bigger word for my students to see. So I go up to the size, I have 115, and I'm going to make this wording a little bit bigger. I'm going to make it about 200. And there you are. Now I want to have all my slides with this size. Forget about that. That is your cover slide. Just keep it the way it is. It's fine. This is where you are going to be working. I'm going to copy and paste it. And I'm going to paste it here in all the other slides that I'm going to work with, so that they all have the same font, the same place, the same size. But they're not going to be like that. I am going to change that one, and it's going to be tag. I'm going to change this one, and it's going to be bag. I'm going to change this one, and it's going to be nag. All I did was to change the beginning letter. I drew the cursor over the letter like this, just that letter, and I changed it. I drew just over letter and I changed it. But this is still not enough. I want my children to have a visual image of what it means when I say Jack is lagging behind. I know I have a lag picture in my Google Drive. So I'm going to go to my Google Drive. And I'm going to type in lag. And there I get my lag pictures. There are two boys running. This one is behind. He's clearly lagging behind. I'm going to use this picture. So I copy my image and I paste it so that my kiddies can have a visual image of what it means to lag behind. Make it smaller and I place it there. I can now, if I want to, change where this word is, but I'm quite happy with the way things look. I have the word lag. If you were teaching Afrikaans, this would be lag, and you'd be having a picture of somebody laughing, because lag in Afrikaans means laugh in English. Lag, spelled the same as in Afrikaans, different meaning. You need to show the kids. My next picture is, my next word, is tag. So I go down to my Google Drive where my pictures are, and I click in my search box, tag. Up comes my tags. I have a tag in my shirt, and I would use this one because all the children in your class would be dressed and they would have tags in their shirts. But I would also tell them that there are different kinds of tags. But for today's lesson, we are going to use this particular tag. I click outside, I come back, and I resize my tag picture. I don't want all my things to be in the same place. So this one I am going to move my word a little bit. So I have lag and tag. My next one is bag. I go to the same place, go out there, and I click on my word, and I'm going to use the word bag. I'm going to look for a pretty bag. This is my favorite bag. I'm going to use this bag. Click on it. And I am going to use this bag. I'm going to click outside, and then I'm going to resize it. And I'm going to use this bag. The last one is going to be nag. This one is not so easy to find a picture, and I think I do have one, but I don't know if it's appropriate. I have this one in the woman's face. I have this boy nagging his mother for something to eat. This one will work. We have nag. I copy my picture and I take it to the word nag. I'm going to finally show you how to do this. You click anywhere in the picture and you paste. And it is where it's on the picture. But it's not where you want it, and it's not the size. So the first thing you do is you have this big frame around the picture. You go outside of your slide on the white or gray area, whatever your color is. You click on it. All the borders are gone. That shows you where the picture is held. You come back and you click on the picture. And now you have just the frame around the picture. Now you can drag this frame anywhere you want to, and you can resize it. So this woman has had it with this kiddo, and she's saying to him, stop nagging. And that is creating slides for an online lesson for first graders, grade ones, where we're going to do these CVC words, short vowel A. I'm going to continue creating these, and I will post them as we go along. Thank you, and toodaloo.